Welcome to my channel. My name's Andy, I'm the Suffolk audiophile. Today I'm going to be going through some of my latest acquisitions over the last couple of weeks. One or two you may have already seen if you've seen some of my other videos, shootout videos, etc. But I'll include them in this little video purely because they are new purchases for me. So the first one I want to talk about is Jethro Tull's Thick as a Brick. I got this the other week. I've bought this. This is the 50th anniversary, as you probably know. This is a Stephen Wilson remix from 2012, I believe. It's a good sounding record. I've done a shootout video between this and a first pressing. There are differences between this and the original. If you want to know more about that, go and check out the shootout video. I'll link to it below. He has made some editing choices in the remix, Stephen Wilson, which is different to the original. That aside, it's a great sounding record. It's really quiet, clean. I think it's 180 gram vinyl. It's actually on the, I think it's actually on the Parlophone label, but they've reproduced the Chrysalis label just so it looks the part. I don't actually think Chrysalis records are in existence anymore, so I don't really know. But anyway, yeah, Thick as a Brick, Jethro Tull is the 50th anniversary. It comes in the reproduction newspaper sleeve. If you look at the shootout video, I'll open it up, you can see it properly. I won't do that now because it's all tucked away in its bag here, but yeah, Thick as a Brick. The next one is a record that I bought specifically for a shootout video, and that's Closer by Joy Division. This version is the 2007 Rhino reissue. This is the UK version, but the US and the UK version are identical, to be honest. When I'd done my Unknown Pleasures shootout video, I used the US Rhino 2007 pressing. For the Closer video, I've used the UK, but they're identical. This comes with a reproduction inner sleeve with round corners, as they should. Well, yeah, so yeah, so I think the wording on here is pretty much identical, apart from it doesn't say printed by Barrel and Lofthouse, it says printed by something else. But it's pretty hard, pretty heavy cardstock as well, very much like the original. The record is really a heavy 180 gram vinyl. Let me show you the record here. Yeah, it's good. It sounds good. You can find out more about this on my shootout video that I did for Closer the other day. I'll link that below as well for you. Yeah, it's a good sounding record. I don't think it's as good sounding as the recent 40th anniversary pressing, the crystal clear vinyl version. But you can hear more about that in the shootout video that I did. So yeah, Closer, Joy Division. Next is an interesting band. I was into these. This is one of the bands that I wanted to sort of recollect their records after selling my old collection. These are really interesting. They're signed to Cherry Red. This is Eyeless and Gaza. Yeah, so it's got all the lyrics to the song on the back. So Eyeless and Gaza were essentially just two people, Martin Bates and Pete Becker. They were signed to Cherry Red Records in the early days. These were sort of a similar sort of thing to very, very early Tears for Fears, if you like. Very guitar orientated, indie, percussion, stuff like that. They were excellent. I mean, the record, this is a first pressing which I got. I'll show you the record. This came in excellent condition. I've sort of set myself a limit when I buy off Discogs. I'll only buy a record if it's near mint. There's very, very few exceptions where I'll buy a record where the vinyl is VG+. I will only buy a near mint record, and the jacket will be VG or VG+. But this is the record is definitely VG, near mint, sorry, and this jacket is VG. But I love the smell of old records. The cardboard, you know, it reminds me of libraries. But yeah, Eyeless and Gaza. They're a great band. Check them out if you've not heard them. I think they were quite influential in the early days of post-punk, the early 80s, sort of 80, 81, 82. They didn't quite go mainstream. They sort of remained a little bit underground. This is called Red Rust September. This is a great record. What's the key song on here? New Risen is I think this is a single, New Risen, again released on Cherry Red Records. But this is a great record, and I'm probably going to listen to this after I finish filming this. Yeah, Eyeless and Gaza, Red Rust September. Worth checking out if you've not heard them. If you like early Tears for Fears, you know, like Hurting period, yeah, you'll probably like Eyeless and Gaza. Give them a go, give them a go. So the next one is a replacement for a record that I bought a month or so ago. I did a video about it where I bought a copy of Ziggy Stardust, pertaining to be the all analog cut, and when I got it and opened it up and looked at the dead wax, I found out it was a digital transfer. Well, I've got this now. This is the all analog cut from the original master tapes. This cost me £20. Not a lot really. It's in near mint condition. The jacket's in VG plus condition. It comes with the reproduction in a sleeve, just like the original. And the record did come in a separate inner sleeve. I've put it in a Mo-Fi archival sleeve. But yeah, this is Ziggy Stardust. But the all analog version, you can tell from looking at the dead wax etchings, it is all analog. If you're looking for a copy of this, an all analog version of this, you must make sure, if you're buying it used off Discogs or eBay, ask the seller to check the dead wax if it's a used one. If it's sealed, if you're buying a sealed one out of the shop, chances are the sealed ones in the shops are going to be digital. They're not going to be all analog now, not unless you find a shop that's got a copy of it that's been in there for a number of years. You know, you can't tell without taking it out and looking at the dead wax. It is really that specific, because the jacket is exactly the same. Everything is the same on it. The barcode is the same, I think, but it's just slightly different dead wax etchings, and you need to make sure that you're getting the right one. But yeah, Ziggy Stardust, this sounds really good. Is it as good? I've actually A/B tested it against the digital one that I gave to my son. There is a difference between the two, believe it or not, and you know, I'm glad I got this version. I wouldn't say it's a dramatic difference between analog and digital, because I'm not one of these cork sniffers that sits there and says, I can tell the difference between digital and analog just from listening to it. I can't. But there is EQ differences between the two. You know, and that is, I think what I'm trying to go for is, first of all, I want an all analog cut because I'm pretty a traditionalist, I suppose. I will buy digital, don't get me wrong, but if I can get an all analog cut, I will do. And you know, and within that spectrum of all analog cuts, you'll get different masterings and different EQs, etc. You know, but you know, I'm glad I got this now anyway. Ziggy Stardust. It's a classic album that will go well in my Bowie collection because I've been after this for quite a while. I had this back in the 80s when you know, before I got rid of my records first time round, and the copy I had obviously was all analog because it was the 80s. I think I had a first pressing actually back in the 80s. I bought it at a second-hand record shop, if I remember rightly. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Ziggy Stardust, excellent album. If you're really after the analog version, be really specific about asking the seller what's on the dead wax, etc., because you need to, you know, establish what that is before you part with your money. Okay. Next, and the last one, we have, I think, one of the most important albums of the late 70s, early 80s. And I got this on a recommendation, and that is The Bridge, Thomas Leer and Robert Rental. This originally came out, excuse the glare, it's still in shrink, but this originally came out in 1979. And this is a repress. This is the repress. You can see the hype sticker there. There you go. It's in focus. And the hype sticker says limited edition white vinyl, the groundbreaking electronic album by Thomas Leer and Robert Rental, available on vinyl for the first time in 40 years. It includes a download code. So what happened with this was Thomas Leer and Robert Rental were basically being championed by the band Throbbing Gristle, the industrial band of the 70s and 80s. So basically, Throbbing Gristle managed to get Leer and Rental signed to Mute Records, and long story short, they were basically loaned a 16-track tape recorder, reel-to-reel mixing desk, which was set up in Robert Rental's flat in Scotland, and they basically recorded this album in Robert Rental's flat. So you can hear like the fridge going off and things like that, and bottles of milk being opened. And what's interesting about this is there's two sides. You've got side A, which is songs, you know, with vocals, guitars, keyboards, very electronic. But side two is all ambient, really good ambient music by Thomas and Robert. Been getting into a lot of Thomas Leer lately, and this was a no-brainer when I saw it. I think this is really important. It went under the radar at the time in '79. I think they were being overshadowed by the likes of the other electronic bands out there, you know, early Human League, you know, etc. Kraftwerk as well, obviously. They drew heavily on Kraftwerk. But Thomas Leer, he's such a quirky musician. I'm getting a real huge appreciation of Thomas Leer. When I saw this, it was a no-brainer. I had to have it, and I'm glad I bought it. It's yeah, you know, the A side with the songs on is pretty good. The B side, the ambient side, is otherworldly, is all I can say. Is it well recorded? Well, it was recorded at home on a 16 track reel to reel. There's the record. It's on white vinyl. It was a total do-it-yourself record, and I think it's not audiophile, but it's important, and I think, you know, people that are interested in electronic music and where it came from and where it progressed to, you know, electronic music, you know, originally came from the likes of Kraftwerk, you know, and some of the krautrock German bands. You know, but in the UK it came from, you know, Sheffield and places like that, but Scotland as well, you know. And Thomas Leer, I think, is a modern day genius. I really do. I don't think he gets enough kudos. He's gone under the radar for far too long, I think. But this is an excellent record. It's available. You can buy it online. I bought this from a seller on eBay, and it comes with a picture and a sleeve and a download code. I won't show you the download code, but there's a sticker on there with a download code. It tells you about the recording of the album. But it's really, really good. If you're into ambient, if you're into throbbing gristle, if you're into electronica and early days of electronica, you know, when people and bands were sort of tentatively finding their way around these things, this is an excellent, excellent, excellent album. Thomas Leer is a genius, like I say, with electronics. He still does an awful lot of ambient records now. That's where his interests lie. He still performs live, even now, and his shows are pretty much all electronic ambient stuff, you know. So, but yeah, that's the last one for today. Thomas Leer and Robert Rental, The Bridge. It's a fantastic cover. I love that cover as well. It's a really moody cover. But yeah, and that's it for today. Thanks for coming back and seeing this video, and till next time, thank you, bye.